Hello, hello. Today I want to talk about my favorite thing that I like to have in my medicine cabinet. Now, before I get started and go further, I just want to say I'm not a medical practitioner. This is not medical advice. However, I'm just sharing one of my favorite medicines to have in the cabinet should you not be allergic to it. Now, the allergies to this medicine are not very common, and obviously you probably want to do the universal allergy test before you try it if you've never tried it before. And of course, when you're introducing a medicine to the body that you have not consumed within this lifetime, you want to be obviously putting it on your hand so you can feel it. You want your eye to be looking at the colors, looking at the textures. You want your nose, you want to be able to smell it. You also maybe want to pick it up and sort of scrunch it and put it up to the ear. You know, these things might sound silly to you, and that's fine. I'm not here to convince you otherwise, but it's just a great way to introduce a new medicine, a new food into the body so it can help prepare itself for something that it's never really had before. So this medicine I'm talking about is a seed, and I refer to it as Nigella sativa, or sometimes black seed. It's also known as many other names, and don't get it confused with black sesame seed because it might be a similar size to the black sesame seed, but when you see it, you'll see that the shape is slightly different, and of course when you taste it, it's a very different taste. And yeah, so I keep mine normally in a jar, you know, in a shady spot. This is an old tahini jar. But yeah, keep it in a jar if you can, and in a cool shaded spot. And you can get it for a reasonably good price in bulk, probably from a lot of organic stores. You're probably about to order it online. Depending on the climate, you might even be able to grow it yourself, which is another beautiful way to get to learn about the plant. Should the plant grow coherently with what it is that you already have in your garden and in the environment. So that's another good thing to look into. Maybe you want to get a little bit sort of permaculture savvy on that and do some more investigating. So yes, you can also buy it in an oil. If you're going to buy the oil, buy it cold press, buy organic of course. The oil is not as anywhere near as cheap as the seed. However, the oil can be quite good for topical use. So some people will use the oil on the skin. It's not necessarily direct on the skin, they might dilute it, but it's good for topical use of things like acne, eczema, dry hair, dry skin, and hair growth too, apparently. But if you don't want to, you know, spend the money on the oil, or you actually can't afford to get the oil, you can still get the seeds, and I will even sometimes make it into a tea, and you could even like put the water on your skin. You know, there's still ways in which you can topically use it. I prefer to use it internally because of my own understanding of the medicine sort of comes from within. So having the medicine then go into the body and then able to go through the system, it can help the whole system. Now, those things that I mentioned before, I'm not saying this is the be-all and end-all. I'm just saying that could be the potential benefits of the topical use of the oil, and you can make it into a tea with the seeds for some similar use. Now, where the plant is usually found and where it's usually been grown is in places like Southern Europe, the Mediterranean, the Middle East, Southeast Asia. It's referred to in many religious texts, you know, one in particular quoting it's the cure to everything but death. Now, I'm not saying that is absolutely 100% true, but I'm also going to share some other potential benefits that this has for your body. So it can be good for things like inflammation, asthma, high cholesterol, metabolic syndrome, autoimmune diseases, diabetes, allergies, and it may even assist with people that have got cancer and HIV because of the immense immune boosting properties that this Nigella sativa has within it. And so when I am consuming it, you know, as the seed, I've introduced it to the body because it's going to be quite potent. I'm quite used to eating medicines that maybe people were just like, oh, can I just take a pill? La-di-da. But as my partner is also a very good promoter of, why would you want to take a pill in something and then it explode in the stomach when it might actually be potentially more beneficial to actually introduce it much more gently to the body? The body is able to process it a lot better. You've given it enough signals to say, hey, something's coming, something really powerful is going to come your way and it's going to help. Then boom, it explodes in the stomach and it's like, oh my God, what are we doing with this thing? Just doesn't quite make sense to me to do that. And I do also understand as to why people just don't want to taste funny tastes in their mouth and they just want to skip that whole process. It's not always very beneficial. So yeah, when I'm having it, it's normally in between a teaspoon to a tablespoon at a time. And I'd have it in my hand, doing the whole process of smelling it, looking at it, put it in the mouth, and I'd just start chewing it, just chew it for like a minute or so and just keep chewing until then I'd get some water. I'm a little thirsty anyway. I just rinse it down. This has got ginger. You'll often find me drinking out of a jar, always, and with ginger cut up inside. Fresh ginger, organic, it's best if you can. Yeah, and that's it. And then one thing I do notice, if you do actually have something like a cold or a flu, you will then get a tickle in your throat. And this could last for about 15 minutes. And you might need to cough. And it's actually helping the body get out the toxins or the things that are not serving the body. So it'll actually help with getting those things out. And so if that happens to you, it's not a terrible thing. It's actually helping you get something out of the body that's not very helpful for you. And so yeah, I would love to see some more research done, obviously, in regards to the cancer and HIV patients. Because as we know, when you go through like the sort of modernity, modern, traditional cancer treatment, it's very detrimental to your immune system. And again, when you get things like HIV, it's not necessarily the HIV that causes you to maybe pass or get really ill. It's the immune system, and then because it's so low, you then are very susceptible to getting sick, and then maybe dying from a flu or something that most people would just be unwell for a few days, or I guess most standard people might be unwell for 2 weeks or whatever. It depends on what you're doing in your lifestyle as to how well you can bounce back from things like that. So yeah, it's a big one to have in a cabinet. And I have noticed actually in the last couple of years, when you go into some of these organic shops, like I'm like, what's up with your Nigella sativa supply? Like, you're always like out of it. And then every time I come in there, and they're like, yeah, I think everybody's like woken up to the potential benefits of this medicine. And like a part of me is like, oh darn, I'm not going to have any for a few months or whatever. But another part of me is like, great, this is amazing. People are now aware of these medicines. And you know what? Yes, this medicine might come from a place that's not actually like native to the lands on which you reside on. Maybe you might know of a medicine that is native, that is original to the land in which you reside on. And learn about those things. I highly recommend that for sure. Talk to the elders. They're the ones that have the wisdoms. And yeah, get curious, and you'll be very interested to see what gets uncovered through that process. So yeah, like I said, do the universal allergy test when introducing a new medicine to you. It's normally starting on things with the skin. What is it like topically before you get anywhere into putting it into your mouth. Do a 21-day cycle as well. That's something that I personally like to do. Oh, sorry, I just touched the microphone. I personally like to do a 21-day cycle with a medicine where I will have it every day for 21 days. Just introduce it to the body so that the body becomes very aware of it and what it does. And, when people talk about they go to the gym and they get like muscle memory and all of this sort of stuff, well, I'm not saying it's exactly the same when you take medicines, but it's got a very similar concept of doing something regular for a short amount of period of time, like 21 days, will help build that memory of the medicine with the body. So when you actually really do need it, it's going to kick in and work a lot better. The body's not going to be like, oh, I don't really know what this is. What are we doing with this? Like, the body is very efficient in how it works, which is amazing. But to help it even further, it may be best to do a 21-day cycle with it. That's just my own personal preference and what I like to do when I'm introducing new medicines. Sometimes I do things like mushroom powders, like the turkey tail, lion's mane, cordyceps, all of that sort of stuff. When I introduce it into my body for the first time, I'll do the 21 days. Then I'll go without any medicines for a few weeks before I do another cycle of another medicine. Yeah, and then should I really need it, this is just my belief system. You don't have to take it as gospel. You don't have to argue with me about it. That's fine too. Yes, if you've had any experience with Nigella sativa and you'd like to leave some more information about it, or you've got some questions, you're more than welcome to leave that in the comment section down below. I've also got an email, and there's various other social media platforms that you can private message me on if you really must. And yes, I will see you in the next vlog.